we're back. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are doing amazing. I thought it would be a good time to get out another reaction for everybody's favorite television anomaly, Riverdale, out there again. Now, just for anybody who has clicked on this video randomly and is new to this channel, I have to warn you right off the bat that I really despise Riverdale, and I watch it completely ironically because it is hilarious and for the blind hope that Betty and Archie might finally become a thing. But yeah, just as somebody who grew up reading the Archie comics, I just can't bring myself to like or respect a show that betrays its source material so badly and that is so problematic. One thing that I did like about last episode though is that it brought some of that to light, a lot of it to light. Last episode of Riverdale, The Return of the Pussycats, I think it was called, was, I have to say, the best episode that I've seen in a long time of this show. I do not remember enjoying an episode of Riverdale that much for a very long time. I love how people were actually called out for the way they treated Josie, for the way Josie treated Valerie and Melody. All of the singing performances weirdly felt like they were called for, you know? Which is so weird for Riverdale because like none of their musical performances feel ever like they are called for or asked for, but these ones felt a little bit different. I particularly loved It's All Coming Back to Me Now and Little Shop of Horrors. I thought that that was really a lot of fun. And I don't really know, because I don't keep up with what the CW does at all, but does anybody know, are they actually gonna make a Josie and the Pussycats show? Because that'd be really cool. Because I like that they had little homages to those comics and to the cartoon too. Like the Josie and the Pussycats, like their opening number. And also the fact that they had Alan Mayberry with Valerie, which I thought was a little bit weird. I was kind of caught off guard at that point a little bit because I was like, wait, Alan, it was always Alan and Josie. But honestly, you know, I like it. I do, I like it. And I'm still completely fine with it. And I'm really happy that they gave those characters some justice. One thing that worries me though is that they just were gonna have that one episode of like a giant women of color empowerment reunion episode and then go right back to prioritizing all the white characters. That's kind of my worry with the whole thing, is that it doesn't fix the problem to just make one episode like that and then go right back to your old ways. You know, that doesn't fix the problem. So I really hope that they continue this with good gusto, and if they do make a new show of Josie and the Pussycats, dare I say I might have to check it out because I remember growing up really liking the cartoon. Because that was also something that I found weird when they transferred Josie into the Katie Keene show. I never ever watched the Katie Keene show, by the way, but when they transferred her over to that show, I was confused because I do remember as a child reading Josie and the Pussycats comics and watching the Josie and the Pussycats cartoon. So I just thought, why don't you just give her her own show instead of putting her behind another white lead, you know? So if they're finally doing that, I will be pleased. But the episodes leading up to this episode really have me confused as to what's going to happen next. The show has been at a little bit of a standstill recently, it seems like, and I'm not saying that that's bad, but it's definitely weird. I don't really know what's gonna happen in regards to anybody's storyline at all, and all I can say right now is I hope that there's more Barchi, I hope that there's more Veggie, and I hope that Cheryl gets her comeuppance. And Penelope too. So with that said, let's take a look at chapter 92, Band of Brothers. Let's go.
Our old pal turned superstar Josie McCoy had come and gone, leaving us all to our haunted existences.
It's so true though. Josie is the light of the show. She was. She was the bright, shining star of the show, and when she and the Pussycats left, it just left a big, dark void of darkness.
Considering you always screw things up, no, Chad. I don't want or need your help. Besides, at the rate Pearls and Pasha's going, I'll have all of our investors' accounts restored in a month. At which point,
I'll divorce your ass so fast, your head will spin.
Veronica continuing with her two standard storylines and defining characteristics, men and money.
Brother Kevin and I will be performing a medley from the iconic musical, Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Stop! No, no, no! I want to hear this! I love that musical.
no more singing.
What is Kevin wearing?
Really?
Oh, he's wearing the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
As you know, he was a young man of few words.
More like he was a young man with no words. Jason.
General Taylor is retiring with full honors and a 21-gun farewell salute. Doesn't that burn you after the crap that he pulled?
Maybe take that as a sign, Sarge. Let it go, move on.
Eric, one thing you should know about Archie is that he doesn't really let it go and move on.
You've missed weeks of work, Mr. Jones. And you didn't even arrange for a substitute.
I know. I'm sorry, Waldo. I really am. I was going through some really intense personal stuff.
Okay, but you can't up and leave your job, even if you're dealing with really intense personal stuff. Like, you gotta tell somebody. Like, you can't just disappear for weeks at a time. That is not acceptable. If you're dealing with stuff and you need some time, that's one thing, but you've gotta tell your boss or somebody so they can try to replace you for at least the time that you're gone. Reggie?
Pearls and Posh, this is Lodge. What we need is an influx of cash. My mind turns to my father. Sell it and finish repaying what Chad's stolen my name.
Your old man's been in touch with Hermosa. She's still in deep with him.
I'll call her.
Actually, let me. While you were at Barnard, we had a thing.
What kind of...
No way! Reggie and Hermosa. Oh, you stud. I did not see that coming. Oh, that's so weird. Oh. Now I'm a little bit ticked off because now that he's been with Veronica's half-sister, does that mean that he can't end up with Veronica? I don't know.
What kind of thing?
You know what kind. You know what kind.
She jealous.
Hey, baby. Long time no talk. Yeah.
Hey, baby.
I miss you so much. You need to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is no higher authority than you within this ministry. If you perform 3 miracles, you qualify for sainthood.
Being canonized has always been one of my life goals. Go on.
It has
In
not.
junior high, I was obsessed.
I need my halo and my wings.
As somebody who's actually religious, this offends me, honestly. I don't know if I'm being oversensitive, but these people are clearly not qualified to run a real ministry. And now they're gonna use magic and witchcraft to try to make Cheryl look like a saint. Just the irony of that. You know, it just, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna do everything that I can to take Taylor down.
KJ Apa has proven himself to be one of the better actors of the Riverdale cast. I'm just gonna say that right now. I have no like elaboration on that. I'm just saying it.
Hey, Sam. Finally! You've been ducking my calls for days.
Sam!
I had promised to keep an eye on you while you were tripping, and the moment things got weird, I abandoned you.
You didn't do anything wrong. I never should have even put you in that position.
That's right, that's right! Good job, writers. The only time I'm ever gonna say that. I was gonna say she should not be apologizing.
I thought today we might all benefit from a demonstration of my absolute authority in this ministry. Jason has granted me
The ability to turn water
into maple syrup.
There is no way she really believes this.
We both know the truth, General. You sent me and my men into a war zone. I'm asking you, soldier to soldier, to stand down and retire quietly.
You're just a kid from some podunk town who joined the military on a whim. You might as well have gone backpacking through Europe and the army, or how it will.
Was he just coming on to Archie? You guys remember that episode of Friends? Hey, did I ever tell you about the time when I went backpacking through Western Europe?
Especially for the families of those other guys. We have to think about them and what they would want us to do.
I think that Eric balances Archie out really well. That's something else that I gotta say. Eric is awesome, and I feel bad for him. He's clearly very traumatized. I like that the actor who plays him is actually an amputee. That's really cool representation. And he is much more level-headed than Archie a lot of the time. So I really do think that he, as a friend, balances him out really well. What are you doing down there, dude?
Would you mind reading my novel? If you like it, maybe you could give it to your agent.
No, my gosh, is he gonna steal her novel? You jerk!
Did you sleep soundly at night, Sergeant? Because I don't. Not since the moment I received that folded up flag.
I just have to say that both Archie and Betty have been having problems with nightmares because of their trauma that they just recently went through. I think that one of the best ways to deal with that is to confide in each other, because I know that they would understand what the other one is going through.
300,000, that's $300,000 for these precious doubloons. Going once, going twice, sold to Mr. Sand for $300,000.
Whoa, that was savage. Hiram. He's like that kid in class who's like, pick me, pick me, pick me. I was that kid, just to let you know. I was that kid who raised their hand for every single question and like snapped to catch the teacher's attention so they would call on me. That has no relevance to this video. I just thought I'd let you guys know that. Reggie's like, that's my girl!
You know, it's almost as if you wanted to sell those doubloons to Mr. Sand for less, just so I wouldn't get the palladium, but...
In fact, that's exactly what I did, Daddy.
Next time?
Don't care about these two at all.
I remember I was incredibly relieved when he started sending me letters about you, Sergeant Andrews. Whatever you feel is right, you should do.
I like when he's talking to these families. I like that they have people who are in like kind of different places on this issue, which makes it more realistic, you know what I mean? Because if you talk to a bunch of families of a bunch of soldiers that unfortunately didn't make it, I feel like there's gonna be some like him, there's gonna be some like that lady from earlier. And I like that they're portraying both of their reactions are totally valid. Even though they're different, they're both completely okay, and it's just where they're at. So I do appreciate that. I appreciate it, and it makes the show, again, a little bit more authentic in that respect.
Behold, her alabaster hands, how they bleed with the blood of the stigmata, mimicking the holy wounds of Jason.
She's like, look at her face! She's like, no, like, come on, stop it, this is not real. This is just offensive.
Do you remember when I got revenge on Mr. Honey, those many years ago? When he tried to ban my back-to-school party?
Which just comes back to Cheryl is a complete psycho. I do not understand her character's appeal at all. I don't know why people like her. It's just pretty privilege, really. People, if she wasn't that attractive, I guarantee you she would be a much more hated character. But do you remember that? Mr. Honey was actually like being a good principal and saying, yeah, we're not gonna have a homecoming dance, somebody died at the last dance. And Cheryl responded by putting a beehive in his office. Like, who in their right mind would do something like that? But then again, I think that we've known for the entire series that Cheryl is not in her right mind. She, like, needs to seek help, like professional help, or just go to prison, either one.
Helicopter taxis that fly 1%ers to Marcia's Vineyard for private parties.
Dude, I want to party at Marcia's Vineyard.
It's time I go on the offensive and take Chad Gecko off the chessboard of my life once and for all. And if Daddy gets caught in my crosshairs, so be it.
What? I literally don't ever understand a word she says.
Hey, Jones! Hey, I finished the novel. It is about a budding young writer at NYU, just making their way through the world, having a lot of sex and partying.
Sounds terrific.
Send it to me ASAP.
Yeah, okay.
That sounds terrific. That sounds very derivative to me. He should go to prison for this. This is awful. Oh my gosh.
Witness as her purity keeps her porcelain skin safe from these vicious, spiteful creatures.
This is nothing but a farce. I pray ye do not fall victim to her deceit.
Who are you going to put your faith in? Cheryl, who shared the womb with Jason the Divine? Or her mother, a whoremonger, an escaped convict?
Her mother? Neither. Honestly, neither. Oh my gosh.
All of it. Be gone from my temple, or I will smite thee. For I am Cheryl Blossom, queen of the bees. I can't do it. I cannot do this. I am Cheryl Blossom, queen of the bees. Every time I think this show can't possibly get any weirder, something like that happens. And I just think, whatever happened to the wholesomeness, the humor, the charm of the Archie comics? Oh, Chadwick, if you're gonna be one of the big boys, you need to party like a big boy.
Oh, jeez Louise. Oh no.
Your mom tells me you're working on a lonely highway.
By dressing like Polly and pretending to be a hitchhiker.
Is that safe?
Probably not, Jughead, but I'm running out of ideas, so...
Here's the thing, they got the guy, and the guy killed himself, I'm pretty sure. But have there been any other killing and or kidnapping reports since then? He could have been the only guy. Unless there have been more reports of women going missing, I'm pretty sure she's done. If there have been other reports and I just don't remember them, I apologize. But to my knowledge, she's doing this on the hunch that guy wasn't the only one, and that there was like a team of them. But that's just a hunch. Does she have anything to back that up? Have there been any other reports? I don't know.
I wanted to apologize for that voicemail that I left you.
Why now, after half a decade?
That's one of my steps. I'm an alcoholic. An addict.
I think I'm an addict too.
But I'm addicted to darkness and mysteries. Oh. Betty, shut up.
Because I can't stop hunting for the trucker killer. Even when I was at Yale, I was trying to be a normal freshman, go on dates, make friends, do extracurriculars, but I don't know, it just all felt so empty.
I hate that she just said that. I hate that she just said that. I hate that she said that because she pretty much just said, that is pretty much the show saying that TV show Betty, awful, dark, romanticizing mental illness TV show Betty will never ever be comic Betty. Because comic Betty's lifestyle was getting good grades, doing extracurriculars, making friends, going on dates, and being relatable. And I love her. I love her. And again, I talk about this a lot more in depth in my Betty Cooper character essay, so if you haven't seen that, I link right up there. But it just breaks my heart what they did to her in this show. And the fact that she just said that just kind of sends it over the edge, I guess.
I am more comfortable studying serial killers than I am socializing with normal people. And then I read about TPK.
TPK! JTP! The fact that she said that she would rather study serial killers than socialize with normal people doesn't make sense at all, because she's clearly very sad. Very, very sad. This kind of stuff does not make her happy at all. She was at her happiest at the beginning of season 1 when she didn't do any of this kind of stuff. And that's, you know, kind of how toxic relationships are. You kind of making up your mind that you deserve this and you deserve to feel sad and you don't deserve to be happy. And I think that Betty is in a toxic relationship with studying serial killers and solving mysteries, because they clearly don't make her happy and she would rather be doing that.
That's why I wasn't at your book release party. I got the offer that night and I had to choose you or the TBK task force.
That's all ancient history.
I'm consumed by them.
You should probably take a break. Maybe stop hunting for a bit.
I don't think I can.
You have to identify that you have a problem. If you can't do that, then things are never gonna get better. Jeez Louise, Betty. She's driving me crazy.
Hey, Sam, I just finished your book.
That he stole?
It's incredible. Best thing you've ever read in your life.
I didn't write that book.
Wait a minute, what are you saying to me right now? That there's no novel?
Not even a wisp.
Well, there was, except Jessica got it. Well, I mean, good for Cora, honestly. Happy for her. I know we only I know we only saw her one time, but good for her. They didn't hook up.
I really struck a gold mine here. I should have never doubted you. I didn't know what I was thinking.
You weren't, but that's okay.
You're here. No, it could crash. It's in free fall. What the hell is going on?
You can't be a part of Copter Cab if you
Veronica.
crashed a helicopter, Chad.
It's a bad look, yes.
What did you do?
Planted the story at the Wall Beat Journal with a reporter friend, then came here to distract you and your entourage, while Copter Cab went down in flames. Because whatever you think I am doesn't come close to what you are.
No, I think that they're both pretty equally bad. Veronica, do not act high and mighty. You are the worst. I can't stand her. And the fact that she thinks she's so great and that she's like the best, hottest, smartest thing ever is just makes her even more unlikable. Just and this is nothing against any of the actors, obviously. Like, nothing against Cami Mendes at all. I'm sure she's completely fine. I just hate the show's portrayal of Veronica.
Which is scum. A worthless, pathetic little worm.
So are you, though.
You'll never be an alpha, Chad.
You're born beta.
You may have destroyed these clowns, but not me.
Of course not. You know why that scheme was actually more successful than her previous schemes is because she didn't tell Hiram exactly what she was gonna do before she did it. She told him afterwards. Veronica spent the first 4 seasons of this show trying to be Dr. Doofenshmirtz, and the joke's on her because she will never be that iconic. Never.
I was worried about Betty, you know.
As a friend.
But don't worry about Betty. I'll take care of her. Your priority is you.
Yes. Tabitha was a godsend to this show. She is the voice of reason. The singular voice of reason. What is that, a Christmas Village? Oh no, it's a model of it. Never mind.
The tribunal has determined that Corporal Eric Jackson was following the direct and explicit orders of his commanding officer and therefore is not guilty of any wrongdoing and remains in good standing with the U.S. Army.
What about General Taylor?
His actions were determined to be reckless and a poor judgment. He was driven by his own self-interest and therefore he's being discharged without honors.
Nice.
So,
it's nice to see these 3 win one. Yeah, it really is. I feel like all 3 of them have been really pretty great this season, so.
How did you manage those bees once they're outside the tag?
The truth?
I didn't have any ointment on any part of my body.
I'm an actual demon. She's the devil. Look at all that fire that's sprouting up behind her. She's the devil.
Something inside me has shifted. Something I can't explain.
You're the devil. She's the devil.
She is the devil. I'm in hell. Ah! I'm burning. Help me.
You shouldn't joke about that.
I'm feeling more connected to things than I have in years.
Look at that. She's in front of a fire.
I'm not saying I'm the first ever living saint.
But what if I am?
You're not a saint.
What if I, Cheryl Marjorie Blossom, am the holiest of holies? Wouldn't that be miraculous?
You are not. You are not. Do not try to give yourself that title. Oh my gosh. You cannot just start a ministry when you're 25 years old, having not been religious at all before that, do a couple of magic tricks and call yourself a saint. I'm actually mad. Like, I'm actually offended by this. Like, no, shut up. No, you are a demon. You are the spawn of Satan, Cheryl. I am not kidding you. You are a horrible person who has put yourself above other people and enjoyed the suffering of others, meddled into other people's business, created chaos wherever you go for 10 years. And now you have the audacity to call yourself a living saint. Get out. Get out. You are not welcome here. You are not welcome in my apartment. You are not welcome on my screen. You are not welcome in this show. I hate you. I do. Sorry about that, guys. Really went off there for a second. I just cannot believe her. I cannot. I did a whole analysis on how awful she is too, if you haven't seen that. I'll link that video right up there. So if you want to hear me talk more about Cheryl, like a rational human being, and not crazily like I just did. Kevin's like, you know.
Got this really bad feeling about what happens next.
Those are my sentiments about Riverdale every time I watch it. I have a really bad feeling about what's gonna happen next. That is not new to me. That episode was definitely very strange. The weirdest thing for me probably was transferring from Archie's storyline, which is a little bit more bleak and you take a little bit more seriously, to Cheryl and Kevin's storyline, which is just the most outrageous thing I've ever seen. There have been like a few times where it's like transitioned from that like Archie scene to Cheryl's scene, and it's a rough transition, let me tell you. Like, those two storylines don't seem like they should be part of the same show, which is one of the reasons why I think this show is so poorly done. It's like they cannot for the life of them pick a lane. Whether it be how ridiculous the storylines are, that's varied from like 0 to 100, 0 to 1,000,000. The lighting is obviously all over the place. Season 1 had way more of a color palette and an aesthetic to it. What time period and vibe they want it to be in? Because obviously it's in modern times, but a lot of their TVs, a lot of their telephones look like they come from the 1970s. And Pops is obviously very reminiscent of diners in the 1950s. But they still have like cell phones and laptops too. So just the types of technology that they use and the aesthetics of the time period that the show is kind of going for to pay homage to is really, really poorly done. I don't think I've ever said that before, but I've always thought it. Because Twin Peaks is a show that takes place in 1990. But one of the points of Twin Peaks is that you go there and it kind of takes you back in time. Because the small town of Twin Peaks is supposed to be essentially frozen in time. And that show does a really, really good job with accomplishing that. Riverdale does not. Even in season 1, I think that that's something that the show really has always had against it. But yeah, in that respect and in many, many other respects, Riverdale as a show has just never ever picked a lane, and I don't think they're ever going to. One question, just out of curiosity, this season has got to be coming to an end soon, right? So does anybody know how many episodes of this season that we have left? Just so I can kind of plan these reactions accordingly. Because I honestly don't know how many of these episodes we have left of this season. And so if anybody does know that, could you please comment it down below letting me know? Genuinely curious. I feel like I always end these videos in this way, but I will end it at, I am still holding out for the hope of Reggie. I'm still holding out for the hope of Barchi even more. I really and truly believe that they belong together. I honestly don't even know how people could want Veronica and Archie and Betty and Jughead back together at this point, because we're all tired of seeing Veronica be Archie's sugar mama. Like, we are all tired of it. Like, we don't need any more of it. Varchie's a complete joke at this point. You know what I mean. And Betty and Jughead. Betty is prioritizing her obsession with murder and mayhem and serial killers over Jughead, and Jughead keeps on going on these drug trips and envisioning high school Betty. It's happened like a good 2 or 3 times. And I just think that's so disgusting. He's 25 years old and he's still fantasizing about high school Betty. Like, ugh, not cool, dude. And he called her a bitch. So really, I can't, like, I don't know how people even want them together. I just don't get it. I think that that's all that I wanted to say and to film for you today. I feel bad because I've been promising to get my Archie character analysis and Kevin character analysis videos and my like minor Archie comics character analysis videos filmed and edited and out there. And I promise they are still coming. I have not forgotten. I am writing them right now, but it just takes a while. Those videos require a lot of research, a lot of analysis, and a lot of just in-depth kind of thinking. So please bear with me. Thank you so much for being patient with me. You guys are amazing. You guys are always amazing. Thank you so much for your continued support and participation on this channel. It's been really, really great. If you are not subscribed to me yet, why don't you go ahead and do that if you haven't already, if you want. Otherwise, if you like this video, make sure to like it. And again, subscribe to my channel for more fun videos from me. And thank you so much for watching. And I hope that you have a wonderful, amazing day.